What's up everyone, it's Bones here. In today's video, I'll be showcasing a Nekroz video in perfect time for the holidays as it's getting just absolutely chilly, which makes it a fitting environment and timing for this archetype of ice warriors and spellcasters. But before I begin, if you happen to enjoy content like this, clicking on those thumbs up and subscribe buttons would be greatly appreciated, as it goes a long way in supporting the channel and shows me that you like content like this. So to start here, normal summoning the Diviner, and then we can use the Diviner's effect to send the Herald. Herald will net us a search here as we're going to get ourselves our first copy of Unicorn, and from here we can activate a Colossalus, get ourselves the search of a Kaleidoscope, and then we can use the Kaleidoscope, sending another Herald to the graveyard as we special summon or ritual summon our Unicorn. From there we'll get the Herald to search our cycle, and then from here we can use the Nekroz of Bryonic effect, which will get us a Shurit, and from here we can synchro away into our Chengying, as I want to show multiple boards that you can make with this deck, so you'll see more as the replays go on. But because I wanted to build around this format, instead of just ending on the Unicorn and leaving ourselves vulnerable, I wanted to do a little bit more. So we're going to use the cycle after summoning the Chengying, then tribute off the Shurit, special summon back the Colossalus in defense position, then use the Shurit to give us follow-up in the form of Bryonic, and now we have multiple interruptions through Chengying, the Colossalus, and we even have Valkyrus to protect us from dying. But you'll see momentarily that there's more ways to play this, and how you draw can make this board even more dynamic. So on our second hand here, you'll see that we have a similar hand, which goes back to kind of what I was talking about, except this time we did draw a Bestial monster. It doesn't matter which one. But I'm going to start by normal summoning the Diviner, and from here we can send the Herald. The Herald will net us the search of the Colossalus. From here we can use the Bryonic's effect, which will get us a search of the Shurit. Then we can use the Cycle's effect, and this time we'll bring back the Brio, and then we'll get the search off the Shurit, which will get us another copy of Bryonic for follow-up. And now you're at a point where you have multiple options again, but unlike my previous replay, this time we actually want to end on Unicorn. So we're going to go into the Mathmech Final Sigma, which is a safe play if you don't know what you're playing against. Nekroz, as you saw, in which you're not ending on many monsters, but what you have in hand and what you can do with what's on board can go a long way in how you produce results. So I'll continue off here by using the Preparation of Rites, adding the Unicorn, getting back the cycle, and then from there we can use the Colossalus. This will get us our Kaleidoscope, and then from there we can use the Kaleidoscope, sending a Herald. If you're going second, you can send Entis, and from here we can use the Herald, get ourselves a search of a Valkyrus to protect our board, giving us a final Sigma, unaffected by card effects, along with a Unicorn that can just flat out negate extra deck monsters on board, which can make this difficult for your opponent to overcome, especially when you add it with stuff like Bestials, Valkyrus to help you stall and stuff like that. Now, for this third replay here, I want to show that we're actually still playing the Dogmatica stuff, but I want to show what you can do with the bare minimum, and I know that this is another Diviner combo, but I kind of want to show the utility of it and what you can do with the rest of the cards in the deck when you don't happen to see any of the Nekroz cards in your opening hand. So from here we're going to normal summon the Diviner like the previous ones, and then we'll use the Diviner's effect. This will get us a search of Bryonic. Then we can use the Bryonic's effect. We're just baiting out stuff at this point as we get ourselves the Valkyrus. You're doing this for protection, as you see we quote unquote bricked here, and then we'll use the Magnamut here, which will allow us to banish the Herald, get its effect on field to get a search at the end phase, and from here we're going to rank 6 into Beatrice. Then we can use the Nadir Servant here, sending the Omega and searching the Ecclesia, and from here we can then use the Ecclesia's effect from hand, which will net us a search as we'll get a Fleur, and this will leave us at multiple interruptions, as now we can use the Beatrice effect. The Beatrice can send off a Keldo. We can end our turn here, get the search off of Magna Hut, which will get us our Druis Worm, giving us a total of 4 hand traps, and then on our opponent's turn, we'll get another send off of Beatrice, which will be a Mudora, and adding to those 4 hand traps now, we have Keldo and Mudora in the graveyard for even more graveyard disruption. And depending on what the other cards in your hand were, you could even have follow-up. So onto the deck profile here, and I tried to go with a lot of the tried and true ratios of Nekroz throughout the years with 3 Brio, 1 Trish, 2 Colossalus, 3 Unicorn, 1 Gungnir, and 2 Valkyrus with the 1 Shurit. There were times before when you actually played more than 1 Shurit, but with how the game has sped up, I think it's okay to just play 1 and try to make the most of it via getting it back by Unicorn. You can even play Dance Princess if you would like to, send it off of the Beatrice, or even get it back via Mudora or Keldo if you used your Unicorn on something else in the hand to get something from the graveyard back. Another option that you can play over Mudora or Keldo if you would like to is actually Ariel, which can banish cards in the graveyard instead, but I wouldn't blame you if you would like to side this in, as Mudora and Keldo allow you to put your own cards back too, which includes some of those extra deck monsters that you may send off of Nadir's Servant or Kaleidoscope. And as you can see, we're even only playing the 3 ritual spell cards here because we have Keldo and Mudora. Onto the card by card, we have 3 Brionic, 1 Trishula, 2 Colossalus, 3 Unicorn, the 1 Gungnir, the 3 Preparation of Rites, the 3 Diviner, the 2 Valkyrus, the 1 Shurit, the 1 Keldo, the 1 Mudora, the 1 Maximus, the 1 Fleur, the 1 Ecclesia, the 3 Jerusalem, the 3 Magna Huts, the 3 Nadir Servant, the 3 Prosperities, the 1 Cycle, the 1 Kaleidoscope, the 1 Mirror, and the 1 Reinforcement of the Army to round out the main deck. Onto the extra deck, we have Underworld Goddess, the Sacred Flame, the Sprite Elf, because we do play the Diviner here, and you shouldn't always rely on it going through. Then we do have the Entis with the 2 Heralds. We have the 1 Celestial Double Star Shaman, and this is something that you would actually send off of Herald if you need to make a rank 4, and it's something that will come up more often in follow-up plays where you may be able to stun your opponent a little bit with the board that you make along with the Bestial stuff, Unicorn negating their extra deck. So this just giving you access to a rank 4 or even a Synchro 8 in Omega is kind of nice. Then we have the Omega, the Chengying, the Psychic End Punisher, and the Sigma 11 and 12 are 2 important levels for Nekroz, as there's stuff with Kaleidoscope that you can do, like summoning Valkyrus and Colossalus, or 2 Brionics for a rank 6. So the fact that you can easily hard make them with Herald is kind of nice too. Then we have the Wallow and the Beatrice as our rank 6s, and the Abyss Dweller and the Baguska to round out our extra deck. Onto the options here, we have Lightning Storm and Twin Twisters. You want back row disruption, especially because of the removal of stuff like Macrocosmos and Dimensional Fissure on the ban list. Then you can play the Vanities Ruler with Ben 10 and focus more towards getting the ruler, but I wanted the deck to have more versatility with more options, instead of kind of just shotgunning the same play as much as I could. The same logic with the Christia. Then we do have the Zaborg as another option. This is just incredibly vulnerable though. The Incantations are another thing that you can play if you don't want to play an extra deck based build like this one is. That's dependent on yourself. And then we have the Sorcerer and the Dance Princess as options for your Beatrice, which Dance Princess can even be decent going second, as if you normal summon it because you hard draw it, your opponent can't activate cards or effects in response to a Nekroz ritual spell card. And finally, for the last option, like Lightning Storm and Twin Twisters evenly, you just want blowout cards. Anyways, that's all for today's video, and if you made it this far, I hope you enjoyed and I thank you for watching. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them down below. It's Bones, signing out.